Ibby, thank you for joining us today. You've got a really interesting story that can't wait to hear. Just start point, just tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us what you do.
Well, thank you for having me on here, Simon. It's really nice to meet you. Of course, this is the first time meeting you, so thank you for having me here. So I'm the co-founder of a brand called BSSET, which I started in 2023 with my barber. We sell hair products and we have, I want to say, around 200,000 customers now. So yeah, we've been doing that for a couple of years.
Yeah, you guys have been on a fantastic journey. It's been great to see. Just kind of going all the way back to the start, it'd be great to hear just a bit about kind of the early life, kind of where you kind of got started from, a bit about your background.
So I'm 21 and I come from Sudanese origin. So my parents both immigrated from Sudan to the UK a couple of years before I was born. And I was born in London, raised in Derby. So I want to say, yeah, I mean, growing up, I'm one of four. I'm the oldest. And I want to say, obviously being the oldest, I think there's a lot more responsibility. And one thing that my parents really drove in me from a really young age was the importance of school and education. So I want to say I was quite a academic kid growing up.
Yeah. And was that quite natural to you? Was that through a lot of focus at school? Kind of what led you to being quite academic as a child?
I'd say it was a mixture of two things. I would say it did come natural to me, to be honest. But at the same time, my parents did really encourage me and did really push me. So from a young age, I was always told to do your homework, revise. If I didn't do something right at school, my parents would say, you need to do this, you need to do that. And yeah, I'd say it's a mixture of encouragement and also kind of coming natural to me too.
Yeah. And do you think that's kind of helped with the foundations of kind of where you've got to now, having that from an early age, the focus on academia, which then can translate quite nicely actually into the business world? Has that given the good foundations, or actually do you not maybe attribute as much of the academic side to the success you're having now?
Maybe you can say the structure that it gave me, because I wouldn't say like all the things I used that I learned in when I was doing my A-levels, for example, when I was doing biology, chemistry or maths, I use now. But the effort of having to revise from this time to that time, being consistent, those are all things that help you in life, whether it's the gym or if you want a business, whatever it is. I think that's something that's important.
Yeah, well, I imagine it gives you good foundations for focus and like deep work, because it's where you can get most of your best work done actually, if you're not dropping in for something for half an hour and then coming out of it again, to actually give a good dedicated amount of time to focus on an activity, you're not getting the best results. And obviously I'm thinking if there was a focus on kind of academia, there maybe was like a certain career expectations, go to uni, lawyer, doctor, whatever it ends up being. But obviously you've taken a different path. How was that kind of deviating maybe from that expected path to being a business owner, which can be quite a risky endeavor? How was that breaking to your parents that you weren't going to pursue almost an academic career?
I think it was really hard, to be honest, because a lot of immigrants that come to this country have to take a lot of risk anyways. You're leaving your family, you're going somewhere completely new. And because of that, I think they don't want their kids to also have to take the risks, and not going to university, starting a business, that's a lot more risky than taking traditional route and obviously getting a secure job, getting a degree. I also think it's a perception, because I don't think getting a degree necessarily means you guaranteed a job or anything like that anyways. But I think, for example, if I studied medicine or I studied law, then they would have had a lot more peace of mind that they've done their duty and that I've now kind of got a secure future. But obviously that didn't happen.
They must be happy with how it's
I'd say
it's going now.
They're a lot more happier than because I did end up, I went to uni for a bit, which I'll go into a bit later, but I did go to uni for a bit and dropped out. And that was something that was really hard for both me and them.
What did you do at uni? What did you start studying at uni?
So I studied marketing for a little bit. I don't think I lasted over a month. I would just go there and I got so bored. I didn't learn anything. I'm not saying university is bad.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I think it just depends on what you want to do, and you have to follow the path you want to take. And at the time, it just wasn't the right thing for me to do.
Was there any glimpses kind of in your earlier life of kind of entrepreneurial flair that you were showing that actually being an entrepreneur, starting a business was actually a better path for you?
I wouldn't say like, I know a lot of business owners have stories that, when I was like in year 7, year 8, I was selling sweets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I wasn't really like that. Like I said, I played sports. I was quite social. I was very academic. It was more so towards 16, 17, 18 when I got into my A-levels, when I actually started doing something entrepreneurial. I started selling trainers. So I started reselling sneakers. So things like Jordans, Nikes and stuff like that had a resale value. My first ever product that I resold was a Trapstar jacket. So I remember I paid, I think it was like £230. This was when Trapstar was like really big.
Yeah.
And essentially what would happen is they would drop an item. So like, this Thursday, we're going to do a drop for a certain number of jackets, and it's going to cost X amount, and there's only so much stock. So everyone would be rushing. They would go and buy it. And obviously, because there's a lot more demand than the supply, it would mean that there's a resale value for it. So I remember, I think I bought it for like £230, and I probably made like £30 profit on that jacket.
It's not too bad when you're 16.
Yeah.
£30.
So like, I did actually end up, I started I don't want to call it a brand. I call my reselling, I don't want to call it a business, but side hustle, whatever you want to call it, Kick Stop. So like kicks, stop, and it's spelled Kix stop. So I'm pretty proud of that name. But I started selling sneakers. I was doing I was selling it to people at school.
Yeah.
And like it was doing all right. I was selling like, I don't know, I want to say at one point probably making like a couple grand a month from it. So it was all right.
How much were you having to buy and resell? Because was it all kind of £30-40, or did you find actually, no, there's certain products that I can buy it for 100 and I can sell it for 200, and so therefore much bigger margins? Or was it ended up being a bit of a volume game? You actually doing quite a lot?
Well, actually, it depends how you get the shoes. So if you can manage to get your hands on things retail, at the time you could make a lot of profit.
Yeah.
So for example, there was a pair of shoes called, I don't know if you heard of Dunks.
Yeah.
Nike Dunks. There was like a specific colorway, Panda.
Yeah.
It's a black and white color. And Nike would drop in this shoe so often. And essentially what I'd do is I'd know people that worked at like JD and stuff like that. So I know kind of when things would drop in. I would go in early in the morning, queue outside, and then each shoe you could make like £100 on. So you could spend £100 on the shoe retail and then make £100 profit. And it would just be a quick flip.
And so did you focus then more on those types of products? So not Trapstar jackets anymore where you're making £30 a go. You're like, no, I'm going to go for the higher margin ones and really focus on that.
To be honest, it was kind of like whatever I could get my hands on, you know. And like I said, probably at its peak, I was probably making a couple grand from it in a month. But that was at its peak. And that wasn't, it was like up and down because the market sometimes go up. There'll be new shoes. There's people that would make like £1,000 on one shoe, for example. You could get, I don't know, I think at times probably like Travis Scott Jordans. If you got your hands on them retail for like, I don't know what the retail is now, but it's probably like 100 and something pounds or £200. You could then sell them for £1,000. But a lot of luck would be involved in that as well. Yeah. You'd have to be at the right place at the right time.
And you did that through kind of your A-levels. When did you decide to stop doing that?
I didn't do it for long, to be honest, because it was starting to clash with my studies and it was causing a lot of issues at home.
Yeah.
So
your mum's seeing lots of shoe boxes piled up in your bedroom.
So it was like, so just to give you a bit of context, like I did say I was a pretty good student up until my GCSEs. So I got all 9s and 8s. I don't know what grading system, I think, it's equivalent of basically like A's and A stars. And when I got to A-levels, I picked maths, biology, chemistry. I didn't really have an interest in those, but I just thought those are the ones that are going to open up the most doors and also kind of give my parents a bit of peace of mind too. At that point, I started to realize I wasn't really interested in school that much. And that was at the same time I started reselling trainers. I wasn't reselling trainers because I wasn't interested in school. That was just because I wanted to make a bit of
some money on the side.
Extra money. But because I wasn't as interested in school, my grades were dropping.
Yeah.
And my parents thought because I've started selling trainers and my grades are dropping, then it must be because I'm focusing on
They just
selling
link the two
trainers.
together, yeah.
But to be honest, I didn't even spend it didn't take much of my time. Like I would go maybe every Saturday, Sunday, try and get some trainers in it early in the morning. Or if because I had an account, social media account. People would reach out to me saying, can you please source me this shoe?
Yeah.
And I would go get it for them and I'd make a profit on it.
Yeah. And so were you mainly just selling them in person, or did you end up selling some of them online or reselling some of them online?
I did build a website, but to be honest, the website didn't do much.
Yeah.
Most people were like messaging me saying, I want this shoe. Can you source it for me? And I would source it for them. I'd make a profit, maybe a small profit.
Yeah.
Or if I could get my hands on it retail, I could then sell it on like eBay, or you could sell it on, I could sell it to the clients that I had.
Yeah.
Or there was there's a website called Goat and what's the other one? StockX.
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Where you could just, it's literally a market for selling trainers.
Yeah. So I think it's quite, you said it's like a side hustle. You almost did have a nice business actually going on the side. And you probably learned quite a lot at that point as well, actually, on some of the mechanics of businesses, e-commerce, setting up a website. You had a client base as well, so the customer care side. So it probably gave you good grounding actually on starting a business and what you need to do. Yeah.
I would say I actually learned a lot from that. And it's not even about the money I made, but things like, because that one was a very personal business in the sense that I was dealing with people so closely, it taught me the importance of like customer service, even things like fulfillment. Obviously I wasn't using like a fulfillment center, I was just doing it myself, but people want to trust, they want to feel that they can trust you. So like if you tell them the product is going to arrive on a certain day and then you don't send it out, they're going to think, oh, this guy's scammed me. I'm not going to buy from him again. But it showed me how important the service was, because I wasn't necessarily selling products cheap, but especially with things like trainers, trust is really important because there's so many fakes around.
Yeah.
So people have to trust you. And I don't know, say someone needs something for a birthday, you have to make sure you get it in on a certain time. And it taught me obviously the basics of, I don't want to say stock planning, because not really much stock planning or cash flow involved, but just knowing what sells, what doesn't sell, like the basics of supply and demand. Sometimes you could like buy a shoe and knowing that it's not a certain price now, but maybe you might hold on to it for a bit, expecting it's going to sell for a certain price in the future, things like that.
Was anything during that period that went wrong that you were like, oh God, this has not happened the way I wanted it to happen? Or was it quite a smooth business actually?
It wasn't stressful. I'll be so honest with you. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say it's really hard. It was really easy. And like, while it lasted, it was just easy money. And then like now the market is kind of dead. You can't really sell trainers anymore.
So why do you think at the time more people weren't doing it? Because obviously you had the drive to get up and go and get it done. And that you just said there, it wasn't that complicated. It was quite an easy business to go and do. But there was quite a lot of resellers and the period of time you're talking about, but not everybody was doing it. What do you think separates you then from the person that actually got up and did it to someone else that is watching you do it and saying, I can't bother to go and do that?
I don't know. I don't think, honestly, I think there was like quite a lot of people doing it at the time, especially people my age, because I don't want to say it was a trend, but most people that were my age wanted shoes anyway. So you were kind of aware that it was a thing. But I think I've always just like wanted to try stuff. Like if I want to do something, I just try it. And what's the worst that can happen? If it works, it works.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, then it's not really the end of the world, is it?
Yeah. Do you think there's anything that has fostered that mindset? Because that's quite a risk-averse mindset, where a lot of people just see the inherent risk. I'm going to spend £100 on trainers that I don't actually want and I might never sell it. There's something in you that's just said, actually, do you know what? I'm going to take that risk because actually what's the worst that's going to happen? Let's give it a go. Is there any kind of grounding in that mindset? And have you always thought that way? Is that something that's maybe evolved over time?
I think specifically trainers, to be honest, there was no risk because you could just return them after like 28 days. But I would say I am quite risk adverse. And I think one of the big reasons for that is because I'm young. I don't know if it's like my frontal lobe hasn't developed yet or whatever. But I think when you're young, you can afford to take so many more risks than when you're older. And I think also that's something I have a big privilege because not everyone's in the same position where you can take risks. Obviously, some people have to support their family and things like that. But I started at a point where I was in school. If anything went wrong, what's the worst that can happen? It's not like I'm not going to be able to feed my family or not feed myself.
Yeah.
So I think for anyone that is young, I think it's better to start younger because there's a lot less pressure on yourself and you can afford to make so many more mistakes. Not only because there's not that financial pressure, but you have so much more time to figure things out. Like I'm sure I'm only 21. I don't think I'll probably be doing the same thing in 20 years to what I'm doing now. You know, you don't know how things could go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a bit of a jump in your story to talk about Mo, who's your business partner, co-owner of the business. Tell us that story. How did you and Mo meet?
Okay, so Mo, honestly, like me and Mo are so close. I'd say he's a bit like my older brother, and I've known Mo since I was, I want to say like 11, 12. So me and Mo come from the same country originally. He's from Sudan and my parents came, so I'm Sudanese originally as well. And he used to work at this barbershop that I used to go to. And every time I would go to the barbershop, I don't know what, normally guys, they'll go with one guy. They're like, oh, this is the guy I want to go with. And Mo was that guy that I used to always get my haircut with. Yeah. And because we're both from Sudan, the Sudanese community was quite tight-knit at that time. So my parents knew him. And like not only was he a good barber, he was just like a really nice person. And I got to know him. And I think a lot of guys have a relationship with their barber because you speak to them. Yeah. If you go get a haircut, you probably ask you, oh, how's your day? What you been up to? What's been going on?
And you know him for a long time as well.
Yeah.
This guy still the same barber for like 15 years.
Yeah. So imagine like Mo's basically seen me grow up from a kid to a man. Yeah. And over time, obviously, we bonded. And in terms of how the whole thing started, the social media came about, I want to say, I think it was in 2021 or 2022.
Just taking a step back on the social media, let's talk some numbers right now. What is kind of the following right now, the views you guys tend to see? Because it is impressive.
Yeah, we've got over 14 million followers now. I don't know exactly what the number is, but it's growing quite quickly. And billions of views. You get like hundreds of millions of views every single month.
Yeah. And then kind of going to get back, because I think they're really interesting numbers to context, actually kind of how far it's come.
Yeah.
Like how did that get started then? Kind of.
Yeah. So basically, I think it was 2021, I asked Mo, because I saw Mo was like working really hard, and he's honestly, if you see his videos, you see how talented he is. He's an amazing barber. And I saw that he just moved basically from that initial barbershop I was on about, where I used to go to. He just started his own barbershop. Yeah. And I know he obviously wanted to get more clients in because he's got his own barbershop. You've got to start your own business. So I said to him, Mo, why don't you start posting your haircuts on social media just to get clients? And he said to me, Ibby, I'm sorry, I want to, but I don't have time. You see me, how hard I'm working. Like, I've got so many things to do. I don't really have time. I'm cutting this and this and that. So I said to him, you know what? This is like no string. I wasn't trying to make money out of this. Yeah. Like, it takes me 2 minutes. So to him, I'll make an account for you. Just send me your haircuts and I'll post it. That's it. It's not going to take long anyway. And basically we started doing that. And then I think what happened was one time we just decided to make a TikTok account as well. Because at first it was just photos like on Instagram of like before and after. Yeah. And then we decided to start posting on short form video on TikTok. So we made a TikTok account. He started sending me his haircuts. He started sending me videos. I was editing it. I didn't really know what I was doing. Yeah. I mean, I think, to be honest, most people my age have a basic understanding of social media anyways, because basically born with a phone, you know? So like I already had like rough ideas of how the video should look, how I should edit it. So he sent me it, I'll edit it, I posted it. And like we didn't go viral at first, but then he started sending me videos. I think I counted it today. I think it was our 30th video. Yeah. Actually ended up going viral. That got over 1 million views. So that was our first video.
What was it about that video? What was that different to the other videos, or was it the same?
It was a skit. It was quite a funny video. Okay. It was like, basically, you know what enhancement is? Yeah. Barbershop, you know, like the spray. Yeah. And it was like just a joke about how some barbers use too much spray. And he basically got like a bald guy, and like he sprayed his whole head. And then the result looked really good. But then he went to put his hand on his head,
Yeah.
like so he went to brush his hair and it all came off. So that was our first viral video. That got 1 million views.
And were you doing kind of skit videos before then? Or was this kind of the first time you guys had tried something like
I
that?
think this was the first. If it wasn't the first, it was like the second or the third. It was one of the first few videos that we tried.
Yeah. And what did that teach you then? What do you guys, you're looking at it and go, we've got over 1 million views on this now.
Yeah.
What did that teach you?
I didn't really have a clue, to be honest. I'm just honest. I didn't know what it taught me. Like, I didn't think, oh, okay, you know what, I've got it all figured out now. I didn't. But it gave me a bit of a buzz.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is fun, you know, getting views, because you get ping, ping, ping. You get the notifications and you get that adrenaline rush from going viral. And then we just decided, okay, you know what, let's try do the same thing, see if it works. And then over time, that's when I kind of started to understand how algorithms work. And that's when I became a bit of a nerd and a geek when it comes to social media and understanding what makes a video work, what makes a video not work.
And what was that kind of light bulb moment for you going, actually, you know, I've actually figured out how this algorithm is prioritizing pushing certain types of content. What was that kind of key learning that kind of was that light bulb moment to go, actually, I think I understand how this is working now?
So I don't want to bore you, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about how. So basically, I didn't figure out myself. I did a lot of research, like watched YouTube videos, learn from other social media people, trying to understand how the algorithm works. And essentially all you have to understand is the main source of income for social media platforms is advertising. So, you know, every time you see like a Facebook ad or a TikTok ad, a brand is paying Facebook or TikTok or whoever the platform is to show that to you.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's in the platform's best interest for you to be on your phone all day. Because the more hours you spend on your phone, the more ads you're going to see.
Yeah.
The more ads you're going to see, the more money they make, right? So, when you understand that, you then understand that that means the platform, essentially, when it's assessing a video, the algorithm has to look for a certain metric and it prioritizes different metrics. So for example, say you post a video now, what normally happens is that video is going to be pushed to a certain number of people. So that's just to make it easy. You just posted a video. That video is going to be pushed to 10 people.
Yeah.
What it's going to do is then it's going to look at the statistics from those 10 people. What's the watch time? What's the engagement rate? What's the comments? All that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. The metric that it prioritizes is watch time.
Yeah.
It's not like comments or likes.
Engagement or anything.
It's watch time is the number one metric, which decides if a video goes viral or not. Because like I said, if you spend more time watching a video, the more money they're going to make.
More ads you see, the more.
So literally what it does is it pushes it to a group of people, tests it. It then tries to figure out it's testing what audience. So maybe you made a video about football. So it's going to push it in front of people. It's going to scan it and think, oh, it's got a football in it. So let me show it to people who watch loads of videos about footballs. That's why you see certain things on your feed and I'll see things that are different because we have different interests. So it pushes it to a group of people, it tests it, it pushes to another group of people, tests it, and it just keeps testing it. And then until it gets to a point where there's no more people that want to watch it. And that's basically when the video stops growing.
And so you learn from that, actually, we need to make videos that people will watch the duration of, that they're interesting enough that I capture all of their attention. The more full watch times I get on it, the more it's going to be pushed, the bigger it's going to become.
Yeah. So it's all about watch time.
Yeah.
The best, that's why long form content, I'll say, is a lot harder than short form content.
Yeah. Because
long form content, you got to keep someone watching from like a 20-minute video versus like a 60-second video, you know? And that's why, like, I'd say YouTube is way harder than doing TikTok or Instagram. In my opinion, anyway. Some people might find YouTube easier.
Yeah, well, I suppose you've got to make, it's completely different type of content, isn't it, really? If you're on YouTube, to keep people engaged, and it is going through kind of TikTok or Instagram.
Because YouTube also has short form content now. So, you know, if you go on YouTube, there's YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, Snapchat, Spotlight, it's all the same. Like, we post the same videos on TikTok, we post the same videos on YouTube, and they all perform well. But on YouTube, there's long form content, which is different.
Yeah. And so were you talking about kind of the YouTube Shorts actually is the same as Instagram, TikTok? Actually, you find that content works as well? it doesn't matter on the platform. It's just you focus more on the short form content than you do long.
Well, short form content is great because you can make one video, and that one video can be posted on so many different platforms, and you can reach different people on each platform. The algorithms, like all the social media platforms, make money from ads.
Yeah.
So they all prioritize watch time. So the only difference is between like TikTok or YouTube might be the demographic of people that use TikTok and YouTube, but because they all have like TikTok's got 1 billion users, right?
Yeah.
So there's so many people on it anyway. Like people think, oh, it's only for kids, but you've got 60, 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds that use TikTok, you know? Same with YouTube, same with Facebook. You might have more of a certain demographic, but overall they're so big that you can reach so many people.
And so once you kind of figure that out, you've had the first couple of successes.
Yeah.
How did that change the type of content that you were looking to make and putting out there?
To be honest, a lot of social media is rinse and repeat. So if you find a winning formula, that's it.
Yeah.
You just stick to it, and then you test other stuff too. So we found a specific style of video that works really well for us, and we just rinsed and repeated that until we got millions and millions of followers. And then at the same time, obviously, it's not just about going viral. Different content serves different purposes. So some content is to build community. Some content is to go viral. Some content is to try and make sales. So you have to have a different mix of different videos. But if just from like a pure virality perspective, if you find a winning formula, you can pretty much rinse and repeat that.
Yeah. So it's find what works, double down on that, and introduce more content along the way that's slightly different to see if that performs, but also to have different objectives. Which actually fits quite probably well into the business world, actually, where you have your one hero product that you know works, you double down on. And then you're introducing other products to mix to see how they would perform. But as you guys were really kind of blowing up on social media, how did that impact then your life? I imagine I've seen a lot of the content. Mo's on a lot of it, but I see you're in quite a lot of the content as well. Did you become more recognised in the local area? Was there really you're more behind the scenes? How much did that change over that period that you guys were really blowing up on social media?
To be honest, I'm a lot more behind the scenes. Mo is the star of the show. Yeah. Until recently, I wasn't that confident, to be honest, being in front of camera and whatnot. But now I'm a lot more confident, and I think it's useful and beneficial as well for myself and the business to actually be able to speak in front of camera and interact with people and stuff like that. But in terms of so what do you mean in terms of how did it change my life?
Yeah, so you and mainly more from Mo, actually, maybe from what you've just been saying there, was you probably become a lot more recognisable. People might recognise, say, Mo's face a lot more. Yeah. And I was just curious if that changed in the early days, kind of you walking down the street and be like, I've seen your videos are great. They made me laugh. This is brilliant. Yeah. Or was there not as much of that because Mo was more the star of the show, front and centre? Me
personally, not really, to be honest. But in terms of Mo, he gets recognised all the time. But Mo's the most chill, he hasn't changed at all since when I knew him before we started meeting. He's a very humble guy. So he's never ever, and I don't ever see him changing either the way he is. Yeah. Just because of followers or whatever.
So you're saying that Mo was very recognisable because of the presence he was getting on social media. What impact did that have on his barber business?
Well, yeah, so when we initially started, obviously that was the whole point. It was just to try and get more feet into the barbershop, and it did. Of course, when you get a lot more people, because his content isn't just skits. Yeah. People actually see the quality of his work. And when you're reaching hundreds and hundreds of millions of people, all you need is a small percentage of those people, very small percentage of those people to want to come and get a haircut with you, and you're good, basically. Yeah. So he started cutting footballers, and he opened another shop in Manchester.
Do you remember the first footballer's hair that you cut?
Yeah, I went with it. It was Matty Cash.
Ah, cool.
Plays for Aston Villa.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy, by the way. Yeah. I remember going to his house with Mo to give him a haircut. And yeah, Matty was just a really nice guy.
How did that come about? Did he reach out to Mo and say, hey, look, you can come have a hair?
Yeah, just DM'd on Instagram, said, can I get a haircut? And that's it. Simple as that, literally. Yeah.
And so did that then obviously spiral them for other footballers to reach out to him?
Yeah, I'd say with things like footballers, because they're online so much and people see it, they care a lot about their image. Yeah. So they want to go with someone they trust. And if you've got other clients that are other footballers, then maybe I think that helps with trust as well.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you see, I don't know, say you play for United, you get a haircut and your teammate asks, oh, where do you get that haircut?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it with Mo. That's how it kind of, it's word of mouth as well, you know?
Was that then a deliberate plan for you guys to kind of double down on that? Because actually you knew by doing that, you've got some great content then from social media, or did that happen quite organically?
I'd say it's quite organically, to be honest. We weren't like trying to force it or anything. It just kind of happened and came about. And I wouldn't say we don't focus on celebrities or footballers. At the end of the day, Mo treats everyone the same in his barbershop, regardless of if it's a footballer. In fact, some of our most viral videos don't have, most of our viral videos don't have celebrities in it. So, yeah.
And then talk about BSET, kind of how did that come about?
Yeah. So, to be honest with you, one thing, I think a misconception is that people on social media make a lot of money because, yeah, you can make a lot of money, but especially with things like short form content, the platforms don't pay a lot at all. And like you have so much reach, you're reaching, you can get like hundreds of millions of views. Relatively speaking, of course, you're going to make money. Like you're going to make, I'm talking relatively speaking, compared to like long form content, YouTubers can make hundreds of thousands, 200s of thousands in profit every month just from like ad revenue, for example. But on like TikTok, like a lot of these short form content platforms, they don't really pay that much money.
So contextually, when you're saying not that much money, how much typically would you be getting?
It depends. Like different platforms have their own monetization programs.
Yeah.
So on TikTok, they have a program which is called like the creator program. I don't know what the actual name is. It's like some monetization program basically. And the way it works is you get paid based on a CPM.
Yeah.
So every video will have a different CPM.
Yeah.
So for example, let's say you posted a video today. That video might have a CPM of 50p.
Yeah.
Which basically means for every 1,000 views, you get paid 50p.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's say you got 1 million views. Only, I think to qualify, it needs to be over like, people have to have watched the video for longer than 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So for example, if you just saw a video on your For You page and you just swipe straight away, that would not qualify. So like, I think on average, it's like 40% or like maybe 50%. I don't know the exact number of what an average view that qualifies, if that makes sense. And like, so like that's to give you an idea. So imagine you got 1 million views. It depends where your audience is from. Yeah. People have different CPMs because let's say you got viewership in America, that's a lot more profitable for TikTok than if you have viewership in another country, you know, like America's the biggest market. So creators in America make a lot more money than other creators.
Did that change types of content you were looking for now, or are you actually not about the money, it's just about creating the best content?
Well, it depends how you want to approach content. And I think chasing numbers is not good.
Yeah.
Because when you start chasing numbers, I think you start to kind of lose yourself because you just want to do whatever gets views and makes you go viral. So like in terms of monetizing, I think, well, the best way, like in terms of long term, is to start a product or sell a brand that you have equity in. So in terms of BSET, to be honest, that wasn't necessarily our like main objective. It just happened organically because our followers were always asking us, our audience was always asking us, what product do you use to get this? What product? So Mo would make a video, they would see that he's using the product in that video and that it's giving off a certain result. They would want that result and therefore they would ask in the comments, what product is that?
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, right, the easiest thing probably to do is to try and get a brand deal. So let me try and reach out to some brands, see if anyone gets back to me.
Yeah.
You know, we've got a lot of, quite a big audience. Yeah. There's obviously a demand for it because people in our comments are asking for it. But for some reason, I don't really know why, no one really wanted to work with us at the time.
Strange.
It's really strange.
Well,
yeah, I know.
Big miss for them.
Yeah, I know. It's really weird. So I thought, okay, you know what? Sod it. If no one wants to work with us, let me just figure it out myself.
Yeah.
Let me go have a look on how you can make products and do some research, find manufacturers, whatever it is, let me just figure it out. I've always had that mentality of I can just go on Google or go on YouTube and try and figure things out, you know? So basically what we did was me and Mo had saved a lot of money from, not a lot, like we had saved our money from social media that we'd been making from all these creator funds, YouTube, Facebook, Snap, whatever it is. And that was our startup capital.
Yeah.
So we took that cash and I did some research. I've reached out to a load of different manufacturers, told them what we were looking for. Eventually we worked on different formulas. They sent us different samples. We like this one, we don't like this one, change this, do that. Mo tested things out in his barbershop on his clients. Obviously, Mo's the expert when it came to actual product. Obviously, I know so much more about formulating products that I didn't know.
He's the expert. And just how much startup capital did you guys need to get it off the ground?
I think all in, we spent like 30 grand. I think, I'll be honest, I don't know the exact, it's somewhere on a spreadsheet somewhere, but it's like probably about 30, 40 grand.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the money that we need to get the business off the ground. And obviously all the money we make now is what we actually use to reinvest and grow the capital.
So you found the manufacturer. Were the UK based or?
Well, I basically reached out to loads of different manufacturers from loads of different countries. At the moment, we manufacture in 3 different countries. We manufacture in Brazil, Turkey, and China.
And what's made you split that distribution over those countries rather than just having one central?
It can be a bit more of a pain logistically, but in terms of products, different countries normally have better products for certain things.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. Brazil are really well known for their curly hair because there's so many people that have curly hair there, and they make some really good curly hair products. So a lot of our curly hair products are produced in Brazil.
Yeah.
Turkey, I don't know, if you go to a Turkish barber, a lot of time they work with like straight hair, things like that. So they have like really good pomades, sea salt sprays, that sort of thing. So that's what we produce in Turkey. And then China are just amazing at everything. I think there's this perception that things that come out of China are low quality, which is actually, in fact, the products we produce in China are the most expensive products. But the reason we produce them there is because of how good the samples and the formulations that we ended up working on.
And how long did that take you to find all these suppliers, test the products? Kind of what was that period of saying to them, hey, look, let's go and do that. We've got the capital. Here's what we're going to do. And I'm going to find some manufacturers. What was their kind of the time horizon for finding all those to actually then launching the business?
I think we launched, so I'm trying to think when I had the idea. I don't remember the exact date, but it was kind of around 2023 when we launched. And it was like towards the beginning of the year when I started thinking to myself, we should start doing this, doing that. So like the whole thing might have taken like a year from just ideas, testing, actually figuring out what we liked, what we didn't like, building the logos, the branding.
It was a really considered process for you guys actually, because you put a lot of emphasis on the quality of the product. It wasn't just rush a product out there because we've got this audience. So there's a lot of consideration on making sure they were the best products you could offer up to your audience.
I mean, at the end of the day, if we hadn't have done that, it's just stupid in my opinion, because imagine you release a product that's not very good and your audience buy it, they're never going to trust you again.
Yeah.
So why would you do that? Why would you waste the opportunity to do something properly and launch it right? So I'm not going to lie to you and say here, I was an expert straight off the bat. I wasn't. I had no clue what I was doing. I'll be honest. I was figuring it all out as I went, but especially the quality of the product is something that we put a huge emphasis on. And we did a lot of tests, like Mo tests different products on different clients, different hair types, smells, everything.
Yeah.
We just tried out everything.
And so you've got the product sorted, built the website, done the branding.
Yeah.
Talk about the launch. How did you kind of get off the ground?
Yeah. So like, I'll be honest, like even to the point where I didn't really have a clue what we were going to sell it at. So I had to figure out in terms of brand positioning, what pricing we were going to sell it at. We ended up launching at about, I think, was it £10, £11 around there for our first product, which was our curl cream. We bought, our first batch was quite a small batch. It was 1,000 bottles. So we spent the money we had on producing 1,000 units alongside with all the other stuff. We had to like the branding and all that. And the first post I did about it was literally just a photo of Mo in his barbershop holding some products and loads of boxes behind him.
Yeah.
And it just said something along the lines of, I'm really excited to launch this brand. You guys have been asking, because people were asking, what product is this? What product? Because he was using products in his videos.
Just testing
yeah,
out,
testing
yeah.
out. People could see what was this. So yeah, we launched on our website first, and we sold that out pretty. I wouldn't say like that. I'll be honest. Some
Yeah.
people like launching it just straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Sells like that. We didn't necessarily like sell out straight away, but I think it was like a week or something like
So
that.
still pretty quick.
Yeah.
That, I've got the demand there. You sell it all out in a week.
Yeah, I don't know the exact times, but it's something along those lines.
Yeah.
We sold them. And then when it really started to take off was when we launched on TikTok Shop. So it was just, honestly, when I look back, it's honestly perfect timing. Because at the time we launched the brand, TikTok Shop was also beginning to become a thing in the UK. Obviously, you guys are probably aware of TikTok Shop, but at the time it was relatively new in the UK. So we weren't the early adopters because there was people that were already doing it for like a year before we started. But I think it was a good time because the platform was starting to gather trust and people were actually buying for it.
Yeah.
So we launched the products on TikTok Shop, and that's when it started to sell like that.
Yeah.
So we went from ordering 1,000 units to 10,000 units.
Yeah.
Straight off the bat. That was our second order. That was just off one product. And the problem we was having was that product was selling out so quickly, and because we were having to get it in from abroad, it was taking so long to get here. So there's periods of time we were out of stock. But it also meant that we were building demand for the product.
That's really a bit of scarcity actually can help actually for people waiting for it to come in and knowing that it's like when you're reselling, right?
Yeah.
It's the scarcity factor that actually increases the value or increases the demand for the product. Does it feel quite risky though, moving from like 1,000 to 10,000 because there's a big jump up in orders, much more money on the table, or were you just like, no, this feels right, I'm not too worried about this, let's just go for it, we can see the demand's there?
I would say, to be honest, like we believed in it. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and pretend that we didn't.
Yeah.
Like we had the vision, and we saw from what was going on our audience and the demand for it, we believed that we could sell this product. So obviously it is a bit risky in the sense that you've got 10,000 products. If you don't sell it, then you're just sitting on a load of stock that costs obviously a lot of money as well. But I think that was at the point actually where we started working with you guys, James and James. So yeah, I couldn't, at the time I was storing 1,000 products. It's not a lot. It's quite a bit of boxes. That was like my room.
So your mum,
your mum was that
trainers.
You've got she was prepared for that. And this time I was at uni as well, but I was like, I'm not really liking what I'm doing. And there was so much going on at home. Honestly, it was really hard because I was trying to not upset my parents, but at the same time I was trying to run the business and ship off orders. So I would go to, I'm trying to think, was this when I was at college or uni? This would have been when I was at uni.
Yeah.
So I would have been coming back, shipping off the orders, and there would just be like loads of orders I have to ship. And if I missed a couple of days, I'll be kind of screwed because I'd have so many orders that I hadn't packed. And it was basically at that point which I went, okay, right, we need to start looking into fulfillment.
Yeah.
Let's look at working with James and James. And that's when our orders then also went up from our manufacturer, because I'm never going to put 10,000 units in my house. It's just never going to happen.
Dude, you're really stressing. I'm out.
Yeah. So 10,000 units, and then the orders just basically just kept on going up and up. And yeah, like I said, we were selling out, and it was a bit scary when you sell out because you think, oh, what if people just don't buy it again? Like, what if the demand just doesn't?
And in the early days, obviously you've got TikTok, which is one acquisition channel. You've got your website as well as another acquisition channel. Were you then at the time looking at kind of paid ads to drive more towards your own website, or were you relying a lot on kind of the organic following that you guys have to translate into sales?
All organic. We weren't doing any paid ads. I mean, looking back, obviously, if I did paid ads, then it would have accelerated the process even faster. But I didn't know any better. And to be honest, looking back, we didn't really need to, because it's a lot more profitable selling things organically if you can. Anyways, if that makes sense. But yeah, like we started selling, and there was points where we were literally out of stock for like months, like a month and we would say, I'm really worried. Are people going to still be interested?
Yeah.
But people were really interested. And when it came back, I remember one time I was on a call with, I forgot who it was. I think it was Reese, works here. I don't know if he still works here.
Yeah.
And we sold out, and we turned the feed back on for James and James.
Yeah.
And what it did was it sent out the email, without us realizing, it sent out the back in stock email to all our subscribers on the website, and we started ping, 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 ping on Shopify. I just remember getting like a really big adrenaline rush.
Yeah. Well, in relief, I imagine as well. You know,
Yeah.
good. The hits, they're still coming in. And then, how have you looked at growing the business from that point on? So obviously the sales are going great. You're still going up. What did you guys decide to kind of double down on to keep that growth going? Or is it just a case of, you know, we've still got the demand. Demand is almost still untapped.
Yeah. To be honest, in terms of growth, one thing that was a limiting factor was obviously stock, because if you don't have stock, then you can't sell product, which means you can't make money. So that was like one of our, and that's something we still struggle with today, like keeping up with demand and not selling out. But yeah, we decided to try and get as much stock in as possible and also launch more products, because we realized that with our first product was a curl cream. And to be honest, one of the main reasons, because I've got curly hair, so I knew what products would actually good for my hair. So, and that was one of the products that people were constantly asking for. So that was, and I think that's the best product we could have launched at the time, because that was the one that had the most demand for it anyway. But we also noticed that we've got so many people who don't have curly hair, especially in the UK. Like the majority of people have got straight hair or wavy hair. Well, actually wavy hair is a type of curl as well. But I'm not going to judge that. But yeah, the majority of people use other products for their hair. So we said, okay, we need to launch more products. So yeah, I think the next product would have been, I don't remember which one it is. It was like, we launched a pomade, a sea salt spray, and a powder, which are 3 products that also work with straight hair. So that's one of the things we did. We launched more products. We also started working with affiliates on TikTok Shop. So I don't know how, do you use TikTok or?
I personally don't, but very, very aware of how it works. There's a TikTok Shop for us is a huge part of the e-commerce world. So very aware of, particularly when it comes to like affiliates and TikTok Shop, how it works. But it'd be good for you to touch on kind of what you guys learned from it actually on using affiliates and how that boosted up sales in the business.
Yeah. So anyone who's watching this who isn't very familiar with TikTok Shop, one of the ways, like one of the channels which you can sell on TikTok Shop are affiliates.
Yeah.
And essentially what you do is you send your product to a creator and they then make a video about the product. The product is linked to that video and the users within TikTok can buy natively on the app straight away. And that's why TikTok Shop's so great. TikTok Shop literally, they saw all the, like with advertising, people are taking people away from their platform and people are purchasing away from the platform. So they thought, okay, rather than sending people away from the platform, why don't we just create a marketplace where people don't even have to leave the platform? And I think that also means it's a lot easier for people to buy and it's a lot more effective. So yeah, basically on TikTok, the affiliates, what they do is they will link your product to their video, and then every time a customer purchases from their video, their commission is automatically deducted from your sales that arrive into your bank, basically from TikTok. So we started sending products out to affiliates, and actually I don't even think, because on TikTok Shop there's something called an open collaboration and there's something called a target collaboration. An open collaboration is something that you can apply, like anyone can apply to be in. It's open. A target collaboration is when we have to send an invite. So a lot of people will actually join in without us even inviting them because of Mo, because they saw Mo using the products. So Mo, a lot of people know Mo. They saw this product, so they thought, you know what, let me buy it and try and make videos about the product. And that's kind of when it started to take off even more.
And what worked better for you guys? Was it the targeted affiliates or the open ones? Because I'm going to assume that the open ones are probably not as big in terms of their following, but the targeted probably would be. What did you find worked better?
Well, first of all, I think it's a misconception that on TikTok you need followers to sell, because you don't. If like there's affiliates that sell that have 1,000, you just have to have over 1,000 followers. Just because you have a certain number of followers doesn't mean you're going to be better at selling the product. Because on TikTok, it's an interest-based algorithm. So it's not like you can see anyone. You can, if you go on your For You page now, you might see someone that's got 1 million followers, or you might see someone that's got 10 followers. It doesn't favor someone with a bigger following over someone with a small following. It just focuses on the conversion of the video. So if the video converts really well, then yeah, they don't care if you've got 10 million followers or not. So you just have to create a good converting video.
Yeah.
But in terms of the people that make most of the sales for us, I don't think there's like, to be honest, at the start, we weren't really sending invites specifically out to people. People were just joining, and those were the people that were successful initially. But then once we kind of figured a common theme between creators that were successful, we could actually identify who to target and who to send invites to. And it's not really anything to do with following. It's more so to do with how good they are at actually selling the product.
So actually your target ones are actually how engaging are they? And maybe passionate about the types of products that you guys are selling that will come across to the audience.
Obviously, the great thing about our product is it's clear before and after. You can see before using the product and you can see after. It's a visual thing that people can see on a video. And the people who use our product genuinely like it. And you can even, all the reviews are great, which gives it more trust as well from the customer's perspective. So yeah, like the people, we don't have to like force it. People don't like our product, then I wouldn't want them promoting it anyway, you know? So people that genuinely use the product and genuinely like it are the ones that actually are the most successful for us anyway.
So you talked about TikTok Shop being such an important channel. Do you guys see any risk actually on TikTok being such a large proportion of the sales of the business?
At the moment, TikTok Shop is our biggest, but our other platforms aren't that far off now. So like Amazon store is doing really well. And our website, it's not doing as good as Amazon TikTok, but I think it'll probably get there. We also do wholesale. So we do sell products now. We don't sell in any of the big retail stores, but we do sell in a lot of the small like Afro beauty shops, majority in the UK. And to be honest, like a lot of people I feel like are worried about TikTok Shop, like relying on it too much. But I think TikTok Shop is amazing because the halo effect you get off TikTok Shop is, I don't know. I mean, I haven't done e-commerce for this, but it's like, I've never seen anything like it where you can grow so much on one platform and that leads to, that leads to so much growth elsewhere. So like, for example, our Amazon store is purely built on the back end of TikTok Shop, basically. All the people that aren't going to buy off TikTok, that have seen us on TikTok Shop, that have seen us on TikTok, but aren't going to buy off TikTok Shop, will go and buy off Amazon. And some people will go buy off our website. So if anything, the bigger our TikTok Shop gets, the more doors it opens anyway.
The more it brings up the other sales channels.
Yeah.
What's your most desired? Is it through your own e-commerce site? Is that kind of where you want to funnel most of the customers? Or actually you're quite comfortable as long as all the channels rise, you're kind of comfortable where the sales are coming from?
I mean, obviously, the main reason why people want to focus on their own website or their own e-commerce channels is because you own that data. So a lot of people, if you don't know, on your website, you actually have access to that data. You have access to the emails, you have access to phone numbers, names, data, whatever data you collect, as long as you get consent off that customer, you can use it for marketing purposes. So all the emails you get, email marketing is a huge part of e-commerce, like 20 to 30% of revenue from stores mainly comes from email marketing. So if, let's say, for example, you were to get shut down by TikTok Shop or you were to get shut down by Amazon, you just lose it all. But let's say something happened to your website or whatever, at the end of the day, you've still got those phone numbers, you've still got those emails, so you can still reach out to those people. So I think that's where people kind of get a bit worried that you can't
do remarketing.
Yeah, you can't remarket to them. But I don't think, I think people shouldn't be looking at that platform for those reasons. I think they should be looking at it as more like a acquisition tool, and also like top of the funnel, because the effect it has on everything else is so big that it's just, I would say it's...
And have you guys found an effective strategy to use it as an acquisition channel, but then try and move those customers onto your website?
I think you also got to think of it as a lot of people that are buying on TikTok Shop might not have bought from your website anyways, you know? So you might not actually be losing a customer. So like, I think people that are going to buy on your website are probably going to buy on your website anyways. The people that are going to buy on TikTok Shop might not buy from your website. So by avoiding the platform, you're actually just losing a sale for losing a customer, you know? And yeah, like on the back end of TikTok Shop, we've now got a distributor who sells our products into most of the Afro beauty shops. So just like I said, just by growing it, hopefully we'll then get into retail stores. Our Amazon sales will grow and we can launch into more markets and things like that.
And so what do you see kind of the next couple of years looking like for you guys? Where's the focus going to be? Where do you want to try and get the business to in the next couple of years?
Well, first step is get stock, because we keep running out of stock, which is really annoying, but I can't really complain. I guess it's a good problem to have. The second part is launching more products, because the more products you have, first of all, it allows you to increase your average order value, which means you can afford to spend a bit more to get that first customer. So for example, when we first started, we only had one product. So the only way, well, the average order value would have been like, let's say £11, whatever the one product costs. Yeah. The only way to get people to buy more is for them to buy more of the same product. But if you have, for example, a shampoo, a conditioner, a curl cream, a gel, you can buy 4 products and you don't even have to actually sell to more people. You can double your revenue just by selling more to one person, if that makes sense. So yeah, releasing more products as well. And then once we've got the stock in place, which I think we are kind of really getting close to that point where we've got enough cash now to have a reserve of stock, just do more of what works. Because at the moment we're having to throttle our marketing, because if we increase our marketing, it means that we're going to sell out. And when we sell out, being out of stock for a while isn't, obviously it helps with the scarcity side of things, but it's a lot more risky and you don't really want to mess around with that.
And you mentioned stock quite a lot, actually, has been the biggest challenge in the business. Is that from a timing? Is it cash? Kind of what has been the blocker for having a consistent amount of stock? And what's the lessons you learned from that, actually, how to deal with that situation? Because it sounds like you're probably at the point now, actually, you might be okay from the stock front, and then you can really unleash the business, see where it can go. But what's been the challenge on stock primarily, and kind of what have you guys learned and changed from those challenges?
Well, stock planning, like, I think a big misconception is, before I start a business, a lot of people think, oh, business is just marketing. I think you touched on it. Marketing, it's just marketing, or it's just trying to sell. But it's not. The operation side of the business is probably, I want to say, more important. Obviously, you need to get sales to actually be able to operate on it. Yeah. But stock planning, fulfillment, that's the reason why, obviously, this is not sponsored, by the way, but it's the reason why we're working with James & James is so that we can fulfill the orders and the operations is right. And in terms of staying in stock, there's so many factors sometimes that you can't control. For example, a lot of the conflicts that are going around on the world right now mean that shipments get delayed. And we can do all the stock planning in the world, plan for it to arrive on a certain day. But if something happens on a macro scale that we can't control, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? So a lot of the time, there's times where we could have probably planned better, but there's things that also have happened that we can't control. Obviously, cash flow does play a role too, because a lot of people don't realize when you're making a product, you have to pay your factory a deposit. And let's say that product takes 40 days to make, or let's say it takes a month to make. And then it takes another 2 months or 3 months by sea because of a delay or whatever that's happened somewhere in the world. That means the deposit you've placed for your order, you're not actually getting that money back for another 3-4 months.
And how much do they typically want you to put down as the deposit? Is it 10%, 50%?
Yeah, it depends on the agreement you have with your manufacturer. Sometimes I think typically it's like 30%, 20%. Obviously, the more trust you build with your manufacturer, the better the terms will get, and the more you order, the more negotiating power and leverage you have. But in terms of like cash flow, one thing that's really killed us is because we've had to keep up with demand. What we've been having to do is fly stock in rather than by sea, which adds on, like, it costs like £1 more to fly something in. And when you're selling a product for like £11, £12 per unit, that is
quite a large percentage.
Quite a large percentage that's just gone like that to stock, which is straight. If I could just have like solve all the stock problems in the world, it would probably be
you'd sleep easier.
I'd probably be able to sleep easier at night. Like right now, we're out of stock of our pomade. I think you guys are actually I think our pomade and sea salt spray have actually arrived today. So we sold out yesterday, but just like we're going to be out of stock for just a day, luckily. And you guys are probably going to do us a nice one as well. Put it back in stock soon, hopefully. So we'll be back in stock today.
Really fascinating chat. Great way to end this. Like, what's the biggest lesson that you've really learned over this period of kind of starting BSSET, that actually if you're looking at someone that say, hey, I want to start an econ brand, what's the best bit of advice you think you could give them?
Honestly, I would say just try things out, because I'll be honest, it wasn't, don't get me wrong, certain points I made strategic decisions. I want to do this, I want to do that. But a lot of the things that have happened in my life were purely based on just chance. And the more you try things out, the luckier you get.
Yeah.
So if you sit there and you don't do anything, then the chances of it happening are zero. But the more shots you take, the more you try, the more chance there is of it actually landing.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, when it came to doing content with Mo, it was never I would have never thought in a million years, to be honest, when I started out, it would end up like this. And it wasn't my intention to make money on it. But because I was trying things out, trying reselling, I was trying this, I think I got luckier, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So just try. Yeah. Whatever you want to do, just try.
And thanks, Ibby. It's been a really great conversation. And
Thank you,
thanks for having the time to talk to us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.